We vote for politicians who are supposed to make decisions that will improve our lives. However, like choosing the right partner for life, we rarely have luck. According to British philosopher and author Alain de Botton, we do not pick the most suitable life companions because we proceed based on familiarity, not based on who would be the right choice for us. Simply said, if our parents were abusive, we subconsciously choose an abusive partner. Déjà vu. Likewise, we cast ballots for those politicians who seemingly support values we established in childhood, but we do not use the right method. We choose like frogs, picking those representatives who croak the loudest. It works well for the frog, because the noisiest individual has the healthiest DNA and therefore is an ideal partner for the swamp. But it doesn't work in the human empire, where we pick our representatives to get us out of the swamp, not to live in it. The loud politician, proud like a peacock and cocky like a rooster, leads us to imagine that they understand what they're talking about. This cannot be further from reality. What works for the frog doesn't work for us. But don't bang your head on the wall yet. It is not your fault. Demand for good politicians is high and the supply is very poor. The person who wants to become a politician must have a desire to win, a drive for power and fame, and an agenda to help themselves, their family, and their friends. In other words, we fish in a toxic pond full of psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists. According to the website of the Royal Society, the oldest scientific academy in continuous existence, psychopaths lack empathy. They may also be manipulative, charming, and exploitative, and behave in an impulsive and risky manner. They may lack conscience or guilt and refuse to accept responsibility for their actions. Does this sound familiar? No? Let's continue with sociopaths then. According to the Mayo Clinic, sociopaths suffer a mental health condition in which they consistently show no regard for right and wrong and ignore the rights and feelings of others. According to the Very Well Health website, people with sociopathy are often quick to anger and defensive when confronted about their behavior. They often have legal issues and unstable personal lives. Psychopaths generally do not explode under pressure. They may even underreact in dangerous or stressful situations. If even this does not ring a bell, here is the third and the last of the garden variety of political species. Narcissists. According to the Mayo Clinic, narcissists suffer a mental health condition in which they have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance. They need and seek too much attention and want people to admire them. People with this disorder may lack the ability to understand or care about the feelings of others. Very well. This is extremely familiar. I can immediately name 10 narcissistic politicians. I leave it up to you which politicians you assign to which category. It won't be a game of musical chairs. Each of them would find a seat. One of the traits common to all three groups is a lack of empathy, or at least an inability to understand others. Fantastic. So, for example, if patients are dying due to inaccessible, imploding healthcare, the politicians affected by one of these disorders might see it as a necessary sacrifice for higher goals. Goals that are more important to them than the death of an unknown John Doe in a hospital's emergency department waiting room. If confronted, they refuse to accept responsibility for their actions and will instead shift blame onto others. Such a politician has grandiose goals, an obsession with having their name in history books or with being famous on the international stage. Like a rock star, the bigger the megalomaniacal goal, the stronger the politician's ego. Grandiose narcissists. Pardon me. Today's politicians do not enter politics to serve the people, but to make themselves publicly visible. They want to have comfortable lives, not to stress themselves with serious reforms to a broken system that creates suffering. These are the Instagram politicians who present an edited reality to us. a reality that does not exist. Unfortunately, you cannot control the behavior of psychopaths, sociopaths, and narcissists, just like you cannot control the behavior of leeches, poisonous frogs, piranhas, and crocodiles in the pond. However, you can monitor their activities and point out their wrongdoings. Let's vote for better representatives who will fight for our interests instead of massaging their own egos, concentrating their power, enriching themselves, and corrupting the system at our expense. Let's free the pond of leeches, poisonous frogs, piranhas, and crocodiles.